I am Dr. Charles Apoki. I deliberately call my name slowly Apoki. Anytime you misspell my name, I get very offended because I've taken deliberate efforts to pronounce it slowly Apoki. I want to share with you my experience starting all over again. When I sold the hospital and we relocated from Aba to Ugili, it was a totally different experience. I needed to start from scratch. Apart from paying my rents that I had paid in advance, to feed, to take care of the children became a very difficult challenge. These are the key principles that we used to elevate ourselves from that level. Principle number 1, forget your former status. Realize your present state. Former status, I was Dr. Apoki, medical director. Now, I was nobody. Principle number 2, what do you have left? Found out that I had no money, but I had intellectual content. I had an anointing. I had the gift of writing. I have the ability to speak. So what did I do? I prayed and called into existence what I wanted. One of my dear brothers of blessed memory, Pastor Chuma Okoroafo, called me and said, "How would you feed?" And I told him my mouth would feed me. And then he said, what do I mean? I said, I will put messages into cassettes form and I will sell them. And so he sent me a cassette duplicator and a magnetic cleaner. Fortunately for me, somebody gifted me a cassette recorder with 2 compartments. And so I devised a formula of recording in my bedroom. I'm recording in a bedroom. So if you don't think this is an office, I'm also recording in a bedroom. So I devised, there's nothing to hide. I devised a system of recording in my bedroom. So I will lock all the windows and the doors, and my son, Dr. Ufoma, PhD, then he was about 13, 14 years old. He would press the record and I will record, and then we will turn the cassette and record, then duplicate. So I had a way of pre-recording the messages before I go to preach. And there was one I preached in the Assemblies of God Divinity School in Umuahia. They formed a long line to buy, and we didn't have enough cassettes. I had to run to Aba to buy a carton, duplicated throughout the night in the hotel, and they finished them the next day. So I knew what was left in me. What is it that is left in you? So I started writing books, and people bought my books. When I look back at some of those books I wrote, one of the first one was Covenant Keeping God, a small bank pamphlet. I borrowed 9,000 naira from my mother-in-law to print it at that time. If I look at it now, I wonder how those people bought them. but it was the grace of God. And so they bought my materials, and I spent time, most of my nights, writing. I have about 40 books there that I have not reprinted. So the books gave us money. My wife will sit in the boot of the car, the trunk of the car, and sell books. Sit at the entrance of the church and sell books. Sit under trees and sell books. That was how we were able to pay children's school fees. That was how we were able to feed. That was how we were able to build. Thank God for my Abba brethren that invited me to come and speak then, particularly Pastor Evans Daniels and Reverend John Eze and the wife. Wonderful people. So we and Reverend Chidi Okorafo and the Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship International at Aba. So we sold our books and sold our materials. There was one day I needed to go and sell one of my properties, and I didn't have transport money. 100 naira to travel to Warri, 100 naira. So I hawked one of my books to a mechanic. He's still there, and he bought a copy, 100 naira. I took a risk. I entered the bus, got to Warri, but as I was going, I carried my book, Hold On to Your Vision. I marketed it to somebody in the bus, and he bought it 100 naira. So I had 100 naira to come back. Unfortunately, the man refused to buy the land. Thank God we are here. And so those are the things we pass through. But humble yourself. Forget your former status. Face reality. My son, one day, Engineer Ofoma, I was preaching and I thought he had pressed record. He didn't press. He came back. I preached until the end. We found out that he didn't press record. And I had to start all over again. So humble yourself. Be ready to take the SHIT for you to SHIFT upwards. So I took the SHIT to be able to SHIFT upward. And so the little money we made, number one, be very frugal. Reduce waste. Don't waste food. Don't waste time. Don't waste resources. I dressed very simply. My wife dressed very simply. I used to wear only Accra clothes and a few funny looking clothes when I see them today. When my mates will charter airport taxis, I will enter public transport. 4 of us will sit behind. I'll squeeze myself. Sometimes some people will recognize me as Dr. Apoke and pay, but sometimes I will carry bags of books on my shoulders. My shoulders will peel. I will carry the box on my lap. And sometimes when I'm transiting between Elele Alimini and Elele Main Town on my way to Owerri, I'll be in the rain in the back of the motorbike, and I will see my mates drive past in Nigerian Medical Association with Nigerian Medical Association stickers on their Mercedes vehicles, and the devil will come and evangelize me. Can't you see how stupid you are? Are you sure you were called? Don't you think you had a missed call? And so I refused to listen. I refused to care about what people thought about me. I knew where I was going to. I knew who called me. I had a vision. And so when we sold books, we saved target savings. We reinvested. So you must reduce waste. You must save from the waste reduction. And you must do target saving. This money is for this. Label the money so that it becomes responsible money. And then we reinvested some portion of the book sales in producing new books, producing new cassettes until CDs came. My dear brother of blessed memory, Reverend Chuma Okoraf, also brought the CD duplicate, gave me money. I didn't spend it. $500 then. I went to use it to buy a CD duplicator. So we started duplicating CDs at home. So I was using what was left in my mind, which was my assets, to produce intellectual materials. I was adding value to them and I was selling. Thank God for an Igbo man in Onitsha. You see why I love the Igbos? He will give me CDs without full payment. I will sell and return money. So I was making money from CD sales. I was making money from books. I was continuously reinvesting and doing target savings. So reinvest, humble yourself, look for what is left in you, reduce expenditure, reduce waste, save, target savings, and reinvestment. We were always reinvesting. We are always investing in one little thing or the other. So one of the things you must do, look for little things that people will ignore, invest in them, produce small sums of money. By the time you replicate and repeat, replication and repetition will eventually lead to wealth. Don't wait for the large sum of money. Don't wait for people you are going to beg all over the world. If God sees your heart and He hears your cry, He will just bring somebody across your way, but make sure you manage those resources well. That's how to restart. And then have the big picture in mind. I had the big picture, but also when you have money during your fat years, before disaster will come, buy real estate, buy land, buy real estate. Don't buy cars, don't buy clothes, don't chase class or clout. It was the properties I bought that I started liquidating and losing money from them to buy new lands and do my projects. I hope this video has blessed you. I hope you can share with somebody. Don't give up. There's a testimony coming your way. I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. God bless you.